Hey guys. So there's more developing in this case. It's probably not going to be a long live, but the Shade Room, somehow they got the 911 call from the day of Kevin Samuels passing that was released. During the call, the woman, which is the Artencia Arcantara, I cannot pronounce her name, but Artencia Arcantara, the one that was last with him, she was on the phone with the 911 caller, demanding help. She does appear panicking, and she does appear like she really was trying to help him, and that she felt that he was not going to survive. So let's just take a listen to the 911 call.
I need to call the front desk to get an AED. He's not going to make it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But man, I don't want you to disconnect because something can happen while you disconnect now.
Yeah, but I'm saying I need an AED. If they have one downstairs, I need to get them up here now.
Are you able to your neighbor member?
I'll hang up with you, or you call them in the front desk and get an AED right here now. He's turning blue. I cannot wait any longer. I need to call the front desk to get an AED. He's not going to make it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But man, I don't want you to disconnect because something can happen while you disconnect now.
Yeah, but I'm saying I need an AED. If they have one downstairs, I need to get them up here now.
Are you able to your neighbor member?
I'll hang up with you, or you call them in the front desk and get an AED right here now. He's turning blue. I cannot wait any longer.
So based on that, it does sound like it's pointing to the fact that yes, she was a nurse. She knew exactly the things she needed. She said she needed an EDD and a defibrillator now, and that he was turning blue and that he was not going to make it. And then she did communicate that to the 911 operator, and she did seem panicked. With those facts in line, it's pointing to the fact that yes, this probably was, a situation where we did have a nurse. She was a nurse. She did know what she was doing. And he did sadly, tragically pass away from natural causes. I do believe it probably was, like I said, an accidental death, in that he probably mixed some things up inadvertently, and it led to his tragedy. It does appear, you can listen to her, she sounds panicky. It sounds like she really was trying to save him, and she really was trying to help him. The only concern I had was based on the facts. They said there was an initial delay. But listening to that 911 call, she did do what she could. I mean, she did ask for what she needed, which was the EDD and the defibrillator. She was panicky on the 911 call to try to get them there as soon as possible. She did let them know he wasn't going to make it based on her medical experience with someone who's having a heart attack and the signs and symptoms there with him turning blue. It's pointing more to the fact that this probably was an accidental death. Now looking at all of the facts together, probably was more than likely an accidental death, where he, like I said before last night, that this man already had a compromised heart, medical issues, and then he was not taking care of himself. He was, abusing his body with all them Red Bulls that he was drinking. He probably mixed some things up. Like I told you, probably took a Viagra or whatever he was taking. Some people said, and I don't know if this is true, but people were saying that he had a drug problem. I don't know if they need to do a toxicology report, because it's going to really shed light on what was in this man's system, which could give us some type of context to exactly what was mixed. But I do, in my theory and in my alleged opinion, believe there was some drugs on board, something, or a mixture, a combination of either Viagra and the Red Bull, or what people are saying, maybe there was the cocaine involved. Whatever the drug was, I believe that is what triggered the heart attack. He already had, and like I said, the prior issues. And this just sounds even more sad just listening to the tone of her voice. We'll play the 911 call one more time so you guys can hear it. But just listening to the tone of her voice, she did ask for the particular medical equipment that an experienced nurse would need, which is the EDD, the defibrillator. She described exactly what, the context of someone who's having a heart attack, who has the chest pain, that are turning blue. And she did tell them if they didn't get there at the time constraints that I was telling you guys in the prior videos, that he was going to die or wasn't going to make it. So she was in line with what a trained nurse would have been observing and would have been requesting. So it just appears to me like the woman really was trying to help and just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And unfortunately, Kevin Samuels, living his best life with a younger girl, probably, took some things, wasn't paying attention to what he really was doing, or probably didn't even know the detrimental effects of combining things with, for example, a Red Bull with, let's just say we're going with the Viagra theory. We don't know what's in the guy's system, but, he probably didn't know exactly the detrimental effects of what he had did. And it just, to me, seems so much in context with the whole timing of everything. He had a live late at night, 10 or 11 o'clock at night, his time, Eastern time. Then within a couple hours later at 6 o'clock in the morning, that's when he starts having all the health issues. So it just sounds like someone who had consumed something and then it had time to pass through the body. And then now you're experiencing, or he's experiencing, the aftermath of that when it's had time to now move through the system, affect the heart, and then cause this. That is my theory. Again, it's just an opinion. But let's listen to this 911 call one more time, and then we'll just, close out from there. Try to see if you can listen in and hear what's going on.
I just call the front desk to get an AED. He's not going to make it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But ma'am, I don't want you to disconnect because something can happen while you disconnect now.
Yeah, but I'm saying I need an AED. If they have one downstairs, I need to get them up here now.
Are you able to get the neighbor member real
Are
quick?
you going to hang up with you, or you call them in the front desk and give me an AED right here now? He's turning blue. I cannot wait any longer. Just call the front desk to get an AED. He's not going to make it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But ma'am, I don't want you to disconnect because something can happen while you disconnect now.
Yeah, but I'm saying I need an AED. If they have one downstairs, I need to get them up here now.
Are you able to get the neighbor member real
Are
quick?
you going to hang up with you, or you call them in the front desk and give me an AED right here now? He's turning blue. I cannot wait any longer.
All right, you guys let me know what you guys think. It sounds like a woman that really was trying to desperately save the guy. So it's like I said, it's leaning more towards the fact that this was likely an accidental death. To me, it probably had some issues with what was in his system, in my opinion. I do think the family needs to take proactive steps to get a toxicology report, because that's going to shed light exactly on what really transpired with Kevin Samuels. And unfortunately, it was an unfortunate situation for a lady who met a guy the night before on a Wednesday and landed herself in an emergency situation where she had to utilize her nursing credentials to try to save this man's life. As sad as it is, it's sad. So guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments or the chat. Let me know what your opinion is, what your belief is based on now hearing more information. As this story unfolds, it looks like this story is going to continue to unfold a lot of things. So I thought I was going to be done with this story, but I can tell that as the information starts to come out, there's going to be a lot more that comes out. I'm pretty sure if the family does their due diligence, which I hope that they do, and they get that toxicology report, that will really give us a little bit more information. But I do think that's really where we're going, that this man just sadly he was expiring over time, and I think he really did abuse his body with all the things that he was doing. Some people were saying that they don't think that he was working hard, that he probably slept all day. No, I'm hearing from people who knew this man, he had a bunch of projects going on, not just at night when he had the 2-hour lives. He wasn't just doing that. He had multiple projects he was working on. He also had his clothing business, or the fashion, or I guess what he helps, mentor men in their fashion. He also did personal, people can book sessions with him, personal sessions with him. So this wasn't just where he did 2-hour lives and that was it. He did a lot more work. And people were saying, who actually personally know him, who are friends with him, have said that he was working himself way too much. But that's what people were saying who know personally talked to him, and he was working on a bunch of projects. He had a lot of things in play. So it wasn't just these 2-hour lives that he was doing and then he slept the whole day. That wasn't how his schedule works. He had other multiple things going on. And that makes a lot of sense, because it explains the exact reason of why does he need a Red Bull. If he only was working 2 hours a day on lives, there would be no necessity for a Red Bull. So clearly this man was working way too long, and to try to sustain himself, he was taking these Red Bulls to keep his energy up when clearly his body was physically drained and he needed to rest. That puts a lot of pressure on the heart. Then you're not eating healthy, probably. I don't think he was. Then you're not, you're using these Red Bulls, and then possibly he's trying to have a good night. whatever they did that night, because clearly he fell on top of her. 6 o'clock in the morning. We already know that there sound like some relations going on with that. So with that being said, he's trying to keep up with a 32-year-old woman, and him being in his, now I need to correct something. I said 1965 on the live yesterday, but I went back and I looked at the divorce papers, and they said his date of birth was March 13, 1969. And that I'm going with the court documents. There's so many different ages going on around in the media and stuff, but the court documents, and I'm going with the court documents, they say his date of birth is March 13, 1969. So, that gives me about 53 years old. Still, he's in that, risky age frame, and he had prior cancer, and he had chemo before that can compromise the heart. There's way too much going on. I think this really was an accidental death, or probably more leaning towards natural causes. And to me, based on looking at the context of the 911 call and the report, it does sound like she really was trying to help the guy. She was trying to save him. Yeah, I still don't like the fact, I don't like character-wise, I don't like the fact that allegedly when the officers did arrive and the paramedics came to treat him and they asked her to go to the hospital with him, she didn't go. She left him there by himself. In my opinion, I just don't, even though I know she didn't know the man, I still just don't think on a human level that was just, to me, I didn't like the character of her in doing that. And that's just my opinion. I don't feel someone who is truly someone of character. You were with this man this whole night. And this man literally is pretty much lifeless, and you knew, he wasn't going to make it. You should have been there with him. You should have, the last moments, but this man went to the, got in the ambulance, drove to the hospital. They drove him to the hospital all by himself and passed away. And that's just really sad. All right, guys, let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. Take care.